All right. Well, as we close out Women's History Month today, we are spotlighting women across South Carolina and the work still ahead. And WREN is helping lead the charge toward a more equitable future through advocacy and action. And joining us now is Chief Strategy Officer Ashley Leto to talk about the challenges women in the Palmetto State face. But also, we got to talk about things to celebrate the progress that is being made. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Okay. So for folks who may be unfamiliar with WREN, let's just give our elevator pitch. Let folks know about WREN, Women's Rights Empowerment Network.
Yeah, so we're a nonprofit that serves the whole state of South Carolina, and we have a mission to advocate, educate, research, and convene community in service of women and girls, South Carolina. So truly our goal is to make sure that everybody knows where we're at and where we need to go so that everyone can live their best life.
Yes, and the more information that we have, that information that we get from you all really helps us make a better informed decision as we move forward. All right, so let's start with this. What is really the state of South Carolina for women right now? How are we doing in terms of economy, socially, equitable, or equity? What would you say our state is right now?
Yeah, so our state has a lot of work to do. I think people are feeling that, and that's kind of consistent across the nation. We actually just commemorated, if you want to say celebrate, Equal Pay Day this past week. So women are still falling behind in wages compared to their male counterparts. For Black women, that is much more severe inequity. And in our state, we need to make sure that we are honoring the skill sets that women bring. We also, because it's Women's History Month, need to understand the history of how we got here. So it wasn't not long ago that women couldn't hold credit cards, but also in our state, Black women were forced to work at subpar wages. So it's just really understanding where we've been and then taking those next steps to go towards progress. We have a status of women and girls report that we put out. So if folks are like, oh, I want to know my specific stat on the issue that I really care about, we have it for you. You go to our website and we actually broke it down by county so you can really look in your local community at where you're at.
Absolutely. And again, y'all hear me say this all the time. Knowledge is power. So definitely make sure to check that out. Now, what are some of the challenges or the other challenges that you see women facing in South Carolina?
Yeah, so South Carolina, we work in two pillars, and that's intentional because it's the area that we see as needing the most support. So reproductive freedom and economic justice. So really understanding that people should have the ability to choose what happens with their body, when to have children, how to raise those children, and to support them wholeheartedly. And we have things like childcare, which is in a crisis state. So it's really hard to work for low wages, but then have to pay college level tuition for your infant child if you can even find that high quality care. So we're working with partners across the state to try to tackle those inequities, and everything that we do is in partnership with people on the ground doing the work or living the experience, so that we're trying to go for the right change, not just the headline change.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit more about how WREN is working to close the gap when it comes to women having access to reproductive health rights, when it comes to women having access to equal pay or pushing for that. Let's talk a little bit more about how this nonprofit is really working every single day to close that gap.
Yeah, so the number one way we'll get progress is if we're all doing our advocacy tools. So we created an advocacy toolkit. It's on our website, and we go out into communities and teach people that they do have the power. They have their stories. We'll do storytelling training, and they are the ones who can move change. And we do that collective work. And then we also do go to the State House and educate our lawmakers on the issues that our communities are facing, the things that we're hearing back, and we hold them accountable and try to push them towards solutions. We never go to the State House and just demand something without it having a really intentional purpose of how it's going to help people, and we make sure that we put our money where our mouth is.
There you go. And how can the community get involved in supporting WREN and supporting this push for progress?
So everybody has it in them to do a little bit of change every single day. So if it's like their first time doing anything, you follow us on social media, you share a post. We'll do educational posts like on Equal Pay Day, and you resharing that might open the eyes of 5 more people. Now, if you feel like that's a little too easy, I would love for people to start sharing their stories, start getting their community members together to talk about kind of the shared values that they have and the change they want to seek, and then go all the way up to we just had filing close, but if for the state house seats in election season, but there are boards and commissions that they could sign up for. They could go to local community meetings. They can do all of those things.
Absolutely. Now, for folks who want to follow WREN, tell us the Instagram handle that you all have where they can find you on Facebook and then the website.
All right, so you make sure you put WREN and then network on both Facebook and Instagram. And then all of those are on our website as well. So if you want something a little simpler, scwrn.org, you'll find all of our resources. We try to make it as simple as possible. And we have recordings of every educational piece that we do. We try to make it in English and Spanish so all people in our state can have opportunity.
Absolutely, my friends. And what was great too about having all that data and resources is that you can also use that to write to your local lawmaker if you would like to see some change happen on the state house level as well when it comes to policy. We are going to put this interview on our website, WLTX.com, so that way you can keep it and send it out to your friends to say, you know what, I want to make sure that we are pushing the needle forward when it comes to women in South Carolina, and WREN has great resources for that. All right, my friends, we'll be right back.